Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dea Pernanda and I would like to review my paper and compare it with my friend's paper, that is Feni Marta Arsita. In the first question is about what is deixis. In my paper, the first paragraph explained that deixis means the pointing out or ATC, and also deixis means is the object, process, identify, and ATC, and also there is a same as with the Feni paper at the point F. In my second paragraph, explain that deixis is about borrowing sentence from Greek and ATC, and there is a same is with the Feni sentence in A, B, C, D, and E point. In Fanny's paper at point G, she explains that the deixis is about phenomena and deixis is about the situation, and it is the same as with my paper in the second paragraph and first sentence. The next question is number 2, is what types deixis can be categorized. In my paper, it categorized deixis into 4. Meanwhile, Fanny did it into 3. Fanny categorized it into person, place, and time. Meanwhile, mine explain it as person, place, discourse, and social deixis. And in my paper, there is no time deixis. Meanwhile, in Fanny's paper, there is no discourse and social deixis. The third question is about give example for each type. Of course, Fanny just give three example because she just categorized deixis into 3. Meanwhile, I did 4 and I gave 4 example too. And Fanny paper give 3 example. There is person deixis is you, the place deixis is there, and time deixis is every time and evening. Meanwhile, in my paper, person deixis I give the example as I, and the place deixis I give it into goes on. Discourse deixis I give 2 example, and social deixis I give 2 example, that is good day mommy and thank you sir. And the last question is please give 5 example for each type from your own research. I categorize deixis into 4, and I automatically give 20 example. Meanwhile, Fanny give 15 example. In the person deixis, Fanny give example as I miss you, I want you, I figure it out, and you find out. There is the person is I, you, and it. I as a first person, you as a second person, and it as a third person. Meanwhile, my paper give we are happy, I don't know if you keep me, you don't know about me, and if we. The person is we, I, you, me, yeah, we as a first person, I as a first person, you as a second person. And the Fanny paper give example as place deixis into 5. The place is that, this, that. Meanwhile, in my paper give the example is those, this, here, and there. And the next is in Fanny paper, she gave, for example, for time deixis. The example is tonight, years. For example, tonight I dedicate my heart to you, and ATC. In my paper, there are 2 others categories of deixis, discourse deixis and social deixis. In all of my example in discourse deixis, I just have it. For example, it's miserable and magical. It seems like one of those nights. It feels like and etc. And the next is social deixis. I gave for example, but I took it in the dialogue in film. For example is Rabbi, you are the Son of God. Lord, give us the bread always, and etc. Social deixis, I gave it for example, F5 example. I think that's all about the review my paper and Fanny paper. Thank you very much.